Come on in the room. Come on in the room. And for the first time in the last 7 games, the Bucks take a L. I ain't seen that in a while. Come on in the room. The Atlanta Hawks beat the Milwaukee Bucks tonight, 119-104. Come on in the room. Doc is our doctor. He writes our law of scriptures. He gives us our medicine in our room. We are live. It's the Cream City crossover. The Guru Truck Officer,
Justin.
Chris King.
Hey, here we go. No JT tonight. Load management. He on his Chris Middleton tonight. But the Hawks beat the Milwaukee Bucks 119-104. It is what it is. You can't win them all. You cannot win them all. And so the Bucks don't win it tonight. They dropped one. They dropped to 11-10 on the season. It's gonna be interesting because you got Boston on Friday night, and it's crazy. I don't know. Maybe because at the end of the show, it's funny to think about this. At the end of the show last night, after the Bucks won, we started talking about the Boston game. Like that's what we really started talking about. I think I posed the question like, are you ready for will the Bucks show you what they need to show you against the Boston Celtics on Friday night? Do you need to see them win that game? And we kind of glossed over this Atlanta Hawks team that's won 5 in a row, that's beaten the Cleveland Cavaliers twice. And I think Cleveland, how many losses have Cleveland have? 3, 4? Cleveland has, 3 losses on the year, something like that. And so this is an Atlanta Hawks team that is 100% a tough out. They go out, they beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Now, the Bucks were on a back-to-back tonight, but you know me, I'm not in the business of making excuses. So the Milwaukee Bucks, they just didn't do it. They didn't have enough, did not get the job done. A 119-104 loss. Excuse me. Let's get to, let me tell you, you can get at me in the chat. What up, YouTube on the chat? We'll talk to the chat, see what you're talking about in a second here. And then if you're on Twitter, at the Twitter, on X, whatever you want to call it, at TCIIIESQ. That's the Twitter, and we'll get to some of your comments there as well. 119-104, Atlanta Hawks beat the Milwaukee Bucks. Let's do a game recap. Giannis Antetokounmpo. This just lets you know how great he is, because let's be honest, it was a so-so night for Giannis. It wasn't like it was a great night for Giannis, and he went 31-11-5. We all with Giannis Antetokounmpo. That's a career night for 90% of the NBA, 31-11-5. 95% of the NBA, that's a career night, 31-11-5. Giannis does that in an okay game. He was 8-14 from the field, and it really could have been a bigger night, 15-26. Maybe the Bucks get a little bit closer if he hits some of those free throws. Shot under 60% tonight. You can be a little bit better than that. 4 turnovers tonight. You can be a little bit better than that, and maybe could have did a little more rebounding-wise. Brook Lopez, 5.6 boards. Taurean Prince, 10 points, 4 rebounds. Andre Jackson Jr., 11 minutes tonight. And I get it, because Doc Rivers is trying to find offense. You're trying to find shooting. You're trying to find scoring. So Andre Jackson Jr. only goes 11 minutes tonight. Dame, 21, 4, and 5 tonight. 8 of 14 from the field. He was 5 of 9 from 3. I thought the Bucks went away from him. I thought you could. I think I wanted to see a little more Dame in the fourth quarter. I will say, they found the looks. Taurean Prince was open. AJ Green was open late in the game. They found the looks for the guys. They just didn't hit the shots. And so, do I say I wish Dame maybe forced it a little bit more? Maybe. But they did get the ball to the right guys. I'm going to say Bobby Portis is next to my list, but I'm going to save his sorry ass for last. DeLon Wright, 6 points, 2 rebounds, 1 steal on the night. Trash. AJ Green, 6 points, 4 boards, 4 assists. I have a hard time getting mad at AJ Green because I think he hustles all over the court. But he was 2 for 11 tonight. He shot a tour day. 2 of 11, 2 of 11 from 3. Wasn't a good night for him. I know he'll bounce back. Gary Trent Jr., 11 points, 3 boards for him, 1 assist. A so-so night for him. 4 of 11 from the field, 3 of 9 from 3. Just not enough to get it done. And then Bobby Portis, 17 minutes tonight, 6 points, 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 of 6 from the field, 0 of 2 from 3. 3 turnovers for Bobby Portis is unacceptable. And then he had a bad technical foul. Bobby Portis is terrible. And let me tell you who else is terrible. I know we give out game balls, but I know we do a You Are Trash on the Only T's and Q's. If I could do a You Are Trash, you know who I blame? Y'all ever watch Hoarders? Y'all ever watch that show Hoarders?
Yep.
You know who the problem is? Now, the hoarder is the problem. The hoarder is a big problem. But you know who else one of the big part of the problems are?
Who that?
People who enable the family. and they enable the hoarding, and they enable all of this stuff. You fans, if you were in 5-star form tonight, shame on you. Shame on you. Bobby Portis out there. I mean, somebody, I can't remember who he got into a tussle with. They kind of fell to the ground, whatever. And you guys start screaming. It don't matter what he does. It doesn't matter what he does. He's a con. Bobby Portis is a con man. That's what he has you guys conned. Because I would say there was a time when Bobby Portis was a good player, was a really good player. And again, I'm not saying he's a terrible player. I'm saying for this Milwaukee Bucks team, he's not it. And if you're a serious championship contending, championship level organization, you get Bobby Portis and you ship his ass up out of here. That's what you do if you're a championship level organization. I'm sorry, that's what the act is over. It's not cute anymore. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with it. I'm done with all the Bobby Portis stuff. There's people on my Twitter, oh, you guys are too hard on Bobby. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm just sick of the act, man. Like at some point, when does it end? You getting texts walking off the Bucks are trying to make a run here. You getting texts walking off the floor. Bobby Portis, I texted you when it happened. Justin and Chris, you guys in the chat, in our chat.
I ain't had no service.
Yeah, all right. He was in the first 5 minutes. Let me tell you when the game changed for the Bucks. And again, I will agree. I know everybody had a rough game. At the end of the night, Bobby Portis wasn't the reason the Milwaukee Bucks lost. I'm not even blaming him for the loss. But this thing turned when Bobby Portis stepped on the floor. It was like the Bucks had the energy, had a hustle to him. Okay, it was like we're going to play a little bit. Bobby Portis stepped on the floor. It was a minus 16 first 5 minutes. First rebound. Did you see the rebound? He's going up for the rebound. So I can't remember. Just took it from him. Lay it up right over him. I mean, it 6'10" and plays like he's 5'5". It makes no sense. That's a problem for me. And then to add technical fouls on top of it, and then you have a crowd enabling him, screaming, Bobby, 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 all the damn. I'm tired of it, and you guys should be too. I may, and again, let's be honest, maybe I must be in the minority on this stuff. Even though I see a lot of people who talk junk about Bobby Portis, we must be in the minority because every time you go to the crowd, we got Marcus Johnson. Oh, he's got the crowd into it. Man, find somebody. Why don't y'all scream Giannis? It's still 2 syllables. Giannis. That's 2 syllables. You don't have to do Bobby. Do somebody else. AJ. Do that. I'm tired of the Bobby stuff. I didn't do this. Jalen Johnson, 23, 13, 5. You talking about somebody's daddy the other night at the game. Jalen Johnson daddy up there telling y'all to go home at the end of the game. I saw that. Clint Capella, 8.17 boards, 17 boards with Clint Capella. And who wouldn't feast on the Milwaukee Bucks on the boards? Trae Young, 17, 7, and 4. Dyson Daniels, I think he fouled out, 9.6 assists for him. DeAndre Hunter, 20 points. Okongwu, 13 points. Bogdanovich, who's been struggling all year, 15 and 5 tonight. He was 5 of 8, 3 of 5 from 3. Bucks just didn't have it. Again, at the start of this game, I thought the Bucks were fine. And then Bobby Portis stepped on the floor, and it was bad. And the Bucks they couldn't find a rhythm all through. And tonight, the difference, and again, sometimes you're going to shoot like this, 15 of 45 from 3, you shoot 33% from 3. You held Atlanta to 9 of 32, but again, it was the second chance points. It was the rebounding. It was the lack of effort. It was the turnovers for the Bucks tonight, who had 18 compared to Atlanta's 11. Giannis missed free throws. I'm not absolving him either. You just didn't have it tonight. And again, I'll say this, and I'll let you go, Justin. It's the back-to-backs are one thing, and I know you can lose back-to-backs, is what it is, but there's no reason that you come out and you're down 20 in the first half or whatever it was. I did like the Bucks had some fight. They went on a couple, like a 9-2 run, had a 9-0 run, had a 12-0 run there, especially in the second half. So you showed a little fight, but you can't get yourself down 20 in just in that capacity to where it was too much, too little, too late. And at the end of the day, I think that's when the legs wore out. So maybe if you were closer, who knows how it goes. But late in that game, you got good looks all over the place from A.J. Green, who went 2 for 11 like we talked about, and then Taurean Prince, who didn't shoot the ball like we wanted him to either. What did he finish from 3? He was 2 for 5, but he missed a couple big ones there in the fourth quarter. And Brook Lopez it was 1 for 4 from 3. He didn't shoot out that well either. Did have some big blocks. But the Bucks, again, wasn't enough tonight. I think there were a multitude of errors on this basketball from a basketball perspective. This is why they didn't win the game. I'm not upset that they didn't win. You're not going to win every single night. You start off 2-8, you rattled off 7 wins in a row. You're not going to win 15. You could, but it doesn't go like that rarely in the NBA. Anybody can beat you. This Atlanta Hawks team has won some big games. They're playing well, so it's fine. Atlanta was rested. You were on a back-to-back. I'm okay with it. But the manner in which they lost, a lot of things to clean up. And that's why we come in here every single night, even after wins, and we talk about some of the bad things that went on. Because if you just gloat and talk about the great thing, you don't get anywhere. Sometimes you got to talk about the bad, and because those are the plays and the players and the things that will rear their ugly heads. You saw some of that tonight in a 119-104 victory for the Atlanta Hawks. That's what I saw. Justin, what'd you see?
All right, man. Before I give you what I seen, let me give you what Doc saw tonight, right? So Doc said that Giannis and Dame tried to will the game and win it themselves. He thought they were going to push it over the top. We just kind of didn't get there. It was just a bad game, just point blank period. Everybody from top to bottom, bad. Offensive glass, and they were late on everything. And late, we're talking about Jalen Johnson running from inline to inline, slam dunking, going 1-on-5, like he went crazy tonight. The Nicolay dude, and shout out to his pops, like he's not Halliburton, so we'll rock with him. There, sometimes even when you're playing great, he said that you're going to just have a game like this. And even if you would have played great, the Atlanta Hawks may have won this game, but they're going to have enough energy and they got to go home and rest and get ready for Boston. We talked about the Hawks playing well. He's not going to watch the tape on this one. And then lastly, he said that the cup of motion was a lot last night. Those guys took it real seriously, and the back-to-back killed him. Take it for what you want, Guru. And my man, Chris King. So look, I'm not about to champion this Bobby Portis hate parade. I see y'all in the comments. I see all y'all. I don't give a damn. I like the technical foul. I did because you know what? Bill Kennedy, go ahead and put him on T's and Q's trash. Go ahead and throw Natalie Sago and Evan Scott too. Them, well, I'm about to say something, lose a sponsor. Them fouls they call sometimes. And we're not going to say that the referees are the reason why we lost the game. Let's be perfectly clear. We missed open shots. Derry Bird, that Derry was spoiled tonight. He couldn't make a shot. Hey, Prince, nah. Gary Trent Jr., like you shooting the three, hitting the other side of the backboard. It wasn't just Bobby. Everybody was trash, including the greatest player walking the face of this earth right now. Yana, what did you say he had? 28, 11, 15, something like that? Whatever he had, it wasn't GA standards. GA is the best player walking this earth. But I think what we saw tonight, man, we saw a make or miss league, right? And we missed everything. We couldn't throw the ball in Lake Michigan tonight, man. So it is what it is. I'm super frustrated. I know y'all about to get on Bobby. Hey, look, dude. Bobby got to play better. AJ Green got to play better. Gary Trent Jr. got to play better. Dame Lillard got to play better. Andre Jackson Jr., like, this is where he needs to be coached. You cannot play the defense that you play on foul baiters. The reason why you had 3 fouls so quickly, that's what Trae Young does. And he got you butt sat on the bench because you hacking. You got to know who you're playing. You got to know your personnel, man. Hey, back-to-backs, they're killing us. They're the younger team. Them dudes hoop. Hey, Quinn Snyder, he's a great basketball coach, man. I don't want you guys to get it misconstrued in these comments. We're not blaming the referees for everything. Quinn Snyder coached a great game. Hey, Jalen Johnson, the Milwaukee kid, came back to his hometown. He showed out. Them bigs in the middle. But, like, let's stop it with the Clint Capella, man. Let's stop it. He wouldn't come to this team. He wouldn't change nothing. He's no different than Brook Lopez, except he can't hit the three.
Yeah, and I thought Brook Lopez played well tonight. I think people should have saw that. I remember Kobe Buffkin. It was at that kind of turning point where we were trying to get back in the game. He just swatted Kobe Buffkin like twice in a row. And I think we love that defensive presence that Brook brings, and I don't think you need another guy to just do the same thing that can't shoot. So, yeah, man, this was one that before we got on, Trey goes, "Hey, Chris, is that a coat on you stepping out tonight?" And I said, hey, I'm just wearing – it was just cold in Milwaukee. It was just cold. We weren't shooting the ball well. And this is the epitome. Like you said, it's a make-or-miss league, Justin, and this is the epitome of what the NBA can be sometimes, especially earlier on in the season. Like last night, what we shoot, 53% from the field, 53% from three. What is it tonight? About 20% drop. And the only thing I saw that's consistent is Dame and Giannis. They scored 55 last night. They scored 56 again tonight. And that's the dangers of having to rely on your role players as much as you have lately, because if they don't have it, you're probably going to lose the game. And maybe you want more out of Giannis. Maybe in the playoffs, if this is a game that we get into, maybe these guys got to go for 30 each. Maybe these guys got to go for 40 each and make it 80 so that they can win games. And that's something that you obviously don't want. So, I think this, to me, just reinforces the fact that, these role players are going to play well sometimes and they're not going to play well sometimes. And that's just kind of how the cookie crumbles a little bit. And you hope that they're able to elevate their game when they play Boston next. But yeah, I mean, I think this is just a typical NBA game, typical NBA cold shooting night that, outside of Dame and Giannis, we didn't get much from everybody else. And during that run, we had some bonehead decision making by Bobby Portis.
Yeah. The like I said, the losses. I'm really not bothered by the loss. I thought the Bucks could. I mean, it's a winnable game. I would love to see you go out even on a back-to-back and go get a win. Of course, I would love to see that. That's what you want to see. That's what you think this team is capable of. That's what the really good teams go out and do. But I wasn't upset about it in any capacity or in any way. I agree with you guys. Yeah, it was a bad night all the way around. This is one of those games where I know some people come in and say, "Oh, well, Chris Middleton." This is one of those Chris Middleton games because this is a game where you don't have a lot of guys. You don't have your role players hitting. Giannis and Dame play like Giannis and Dame, but like you said, Justin, it wasn't up to Giannis's standards, the lofty standards that we hold him to. It wasn't that. And this is a game where you're still within the balance. You cut it to, I believe, 7 at one point in the third quarter. You got to 7, so you had a real opportunity. Like Atlanta didn't just slam the door shut on the Bucks. And there were some, like I said, plenty of opportunities to knock down shots and finish and get back. I'm gonna say you were in the game, but get yourself over the hump and really put some pressure on the Atlanta Hawks. And this is a game. This is probably one of those games where I thought, okay, Chris Middleton, if he's open on one of those shots, because he has maybe a little bit more of a clutch gene, more of that, more of those things that you're looking for in a big time play. That's a shot maybe that he makes. One of those shots that AJ Green maybe misses. Chris Middleton hits, knocks it down. Not to say AJ Green can't hit him because he's obviously showing he's capable, but just those moments that you like to see from a guy. Maybe Chris Middleton knocks us down, or maybe even like I said, when Bobby is fumbling around with the ball, getting the post, and they knocking it up out his hand, he don't know what to do. Maybe that's a Chris Middleton post up touch, and it's a turnaround, and he giving you all that they call him Moist Jordan out there. Because he's sweating all over the floor, giving you that turnaround on the baseline. Maybe you're getting some of that from a Chris Middleton, and you did. And again, he's just not available. So you're not at full strength, you're not at full capacity, and you're on a back-to-back against the team that's waiting for you. I'm okay with it, but you have to clean up some of the stuff, man. Like some of the little stuff. I thought it was interesting. I wasn't aware. Just a side note. There was a call. Damian looked like he had a turnover. And I can't remember who was defending him, and they went back and reviewed it, and it was clearly off Dame Lillard. I like that rule now that they have in the NBA where if you get fouled on a ball that goes off of you, they're not going to give the other team the ball. Because that used to be a thing where, again, somebody come over the back, knock you out, ball goes off your fingertip. Yeah, well, it went off your fingertip, so it's going the other way. But I thought that was cool. So the NBA has gotten at least that right about the game. But yes, you said Doc Rivers is not watching the tape. Is that what you said? He said that?
He's not watching the tape. And that rule you're talking about, that's the Kyrie Irving rule from the playoffs where he hacked the bejesus out of the guy. But since it was still, like you just mentioned, off of his fingertips, it was ball to Dallas last year.
Yeah. I like that. I like that. And I agree with Doc Rivers. I don't think you have to, again, it was an effort issue tonight, and you missed shots. So yeah, I don't have to watch the tape to tell guys go rebound, box out, figure out, get on a man and put your ass into him. Put your ass into him and box out. You gotta do some of that stuff. I don't know if you have to watch the tape for that, so I'm okay with that. And it's on to Boston because you got a big one on Friday night.
Well, you can't get an over the back call if you're not boxing out, though, right? And you let these dudes jump and run and hustle all over you. Mm-hmm. Shout out to Poker Shockers that talked about bad rebounding. Absolutely. Too many second chance opportunities for them guys. Hey, man, shout out a couple of the dudes in the joint, though, man. We got this guy, One More Thing, Johnny, big-time Brewers fan, with his sisters tuning in for us. So me and Trey going to make a call to y'all tomorrow. Don't worry about it. We coming. But listen, I hate the Atlanta Hawks, man. You know why I hate the Atlanta Hawks so much, man?
How's that?
Yeah, I got two of my brothers, man, my little brothers. Mark Church, best pitcher in baseball, Texas Ranger. He's from Atlanta. My phone's going crazy. My other little brother, Matthew Church, they having a ball, texting me. Hey, big bruh, we got your Bucks tonight. It always seems to be a way that these Atlanta Hawks, especially with Quinn Snyder, they find a way to come back and beat us, man. Hey, low key, I kind of feel like before we went into this whole coaching thing, and I understand Quinn Snyder was hired with that whole Nate McMillan stuff, so we never had a shot at him. But I kind of low key wished he could have got to Milwaukee at some point, man. I think he's an excellent ball coach. I think he puts guys who aren't great basketball players in great situations, and they show up and show out. Hey, man, as much as I want to blame it on Bill Kennedy, man, all hats off to Quinn Snyder and his Atlanta Hawks. They came in, they rested, they enjoyed some of that great Cousins subs, maybe a little bit of Culvers, maybe a little bit of Rocky Rococos, and they came out there and they got it done on us, man. Chris King, dude, I'm so mad. And then, my Golden Eagles lost tonight, man.
Yeah,
tough. So mad.
It's all good. To me, listen, Doc. What Doc maybe that you didn't mention, Trey. What Doc maybe can take a look at is what are we doing with DeLon Wright? What?
Yeah.
What are we doing? Like, we talked about this last night, and then for it to come to fruition again tonight, where Ryan Rollins has to play garbage time minutes, and DeLon Wright is the actual backup point guard. I don't see how you come to that conclusion after the guy just missed games because he was hurt. He just missed games because he was hurt. Makes me wonder if that injury is deeper than the surface level what they're talking about. But at this, if he's back and you're going to play him in garbage time minutes,
right?
Figure you're at least able to play him during the game. But I don't know.
That's my thing on because I think a lot of people, when I mention that on Twitter, a lot of people will go, well, he's still hurt, and maybe if you're hurt, why would I throw you in for 3 minutes at the end of a game? That to me doesn't make any sense. So I don't know. Maybe he is more hurt than is being let on. I don't know, but it does seem odd that you play him for 3 minutes. If he's healthy, it's coaching malpractice that DeLon Wright is in over Ryan Rollins. He's just a better player, and I know Ryan Rollins. I don't think he's the best of ball handlers, but I think he has a moxie about him. I think he has a lot of a lot of things that are qualities in a young player that I just like. And I think you talked about DeLon Wright, Justin, getting deflections. I think Ryan Rollins is the same. On the defensive end, I think he's just as good.
Yeah.
I think Ryan Rollins is just as good, and I think he gets up in the guys, and I think he hustles on that end of the floor. So I don't have any problem with it, and I think he'll find Giannis in transition. So I agree with you, Chris King, that should definitely be a change that Doc Rivers looks to make. Is putting him into the lineup. Another change that Doc Rivers may have to make. Let's talk about Bobby Portis. Just what you want me to say? What?
Hey, what? Real quick, because Chris, I'm sorry, man, but Chris Crean brought up a great point about Rollins, and I mean the other thing that we saw, we're talking about this guy not being a great ball handler. DeLon Wright was turning over the ball, bringing it up court tonight.
Yeah.
He had terrible passes tonight, and everything that you shouldn't do as a backup point guard, and his defensive effort wasn't there. If Bobby Portis was a -16 in the 2.5, 5 minutes, whatever it was that all y'all in the chat and the guru talking about, how many minus was DeLon Wright tonight?
I'm not sure what DeLon Wright was.
Had to get an F on the project. Go ahead well, and get on Bobby now.
I just say DeLon, again, he doesn't stand out as much as Bobby Portis because Bobby Portis is actively calling for the ball all the time and gets the ball in the post. Like, at least DeLon Wright is an afterthought when it comes to shooting the ball or creating within the offense, and Bobby Portis sometimes is a standstill. But let's get to the chat. At the Bat Deck Griller says tonight was a bad case of the turnover bug. John House says, I don't care about this game, but one thing is Bobby has a problem with rebounding. He just can't secure the ball. Dion Moniker says Bobby played one of the worst games I've ever seen. Alexandros Penagolu says at this point, if the Bucks can't trade this pathetic bozo with 9, they can hope he has an injury that would sideline him. Damn, I ain't even asked for an injury. John House also says, can we swap Portis for Capella and a pick? Anthony Lacey says it's a must hit all shots. The Giannis wall does not work if we make shots. Can't allow 64 to 34 paint shots. Y'all said Panagolos chimes in again, says the pathetic loser with 9 was minus 16 in 10 minutes in the first half. Let's see a couple. Deion Manicall says the Bobby chants were disgusting. Angela says the game turned as soon as Bobby Portis got in. I see you light skinned Justin in the chat with the Hoarder reference. People's Hernandez come on down, says I'll be praying, rooting, and hoping that every day that Stinky Deer Meat will lose as many games as possible. Okay, Peoples, who are you?
That's that Brooklyn net dude that been in here. Oh, you see him come back. Okay. We finally lost the game.
Yeah, that's what they do.
It's been a couple weeks at this point. You forget.
That's what they do.
We've been on low management too. We've been winning so much.
Right, exactly. I want to get to Mochi's question in a second, but I do want to keep rolling on the Bobby Portis thing. It's an issue, Justin. I know, let's like I said, here's what I don't want to do. Since we're talking about hoarders, I don't want to be an enabler. I don't want to be like the rest of the crowd that just screams Bobby, Bobby, Bobby every 5 seconds that he comes into the game. So, Justin, let me try to help. Let me help you see the light here when we're talking about Bobby Portis and what he's doing. Here's my issue: is what is he has the here's Bobby Portis as a good player. Bobby Portis should be able to rebound the basketball. He's 6'10". I know he's not going to play great defense, but just stay in front of somebody. Whatever, do whatever you can do. I tell you with the same thing with Giannis shooting free throws. Now he didn't shoot the free throw well tonight. I've never been a guy that you'll never see me really get on Giannis for missing free throws because I know that's not part of his game. Like I know he's going to miss free throws. Like that is when he hits them, it's a plus. When Giannis hitting the mid range, it's a plus. I know he's going to hit a few. I'm not worried about it when he's missing. Like tonight was another thing. Giannis, I think he maybe attempted a few mid range. He had one bad one where he thought he was doing something because he got a couple fouls called the other night on jump shots. So he done turned to full flop mode and looked absolutely stupid when he tried to do it, pull a dame and pump fake and get didn't work. You're not that guy, pal. So. But here's my thing on Bobby. So I know a lot of guys have some other issues, but here's my thing on Bobby. What should he be able to do well? You got to be able to hit shots. You got to be able to play in the post, especially when you have a small on you. You have to be able to pass out of the post, which again we've seen Bobby do at a high level at times. So you have to be able to do those things correctly. You have to at least be in position. Like again, I'm not asking you to play great defense, but you have to be in position, and that's what I have a problem with. You don't get rebound. You get outplayed. And then when you do finally hit a shot, you let up a bucket on the other end. And then at the end of all of that, you hear your name get called a few times and by the crowd. And you think that, oh, well, they said my name. So now I can go get a tech in a key moment in the game. It's all of those things. And then this has been a thing that's going on for year after year after year. It's just not cute anymore. And again, that's my thing. That's where I'm at with it. Just so I guess it's like, what do you, if you are, this is what I'm trying to figure out from the Bobby defenders, if you're still on that side, and again, I'm not saying he's trash. He will have moments where he plays well. He's had moments during his win streak where he's played well. I'm not saying he's incapable of playing well at all. I'm not saying that. But on a consistent basis, he doesn't do what he needs to do. But if you're still on that side, what is it that makes you think he is a benefit long run to this basketball team?
Hey, counselor, can I ask you a question?
Sure.
How many minutes did Bobby Portis play tonight?
Played 18.
All right. So
he was bad in them.
He was. All right, listen, I'm not just a Bobby defender. I just feel like, man, this is what Bobby can do. Bobby's going to be a much better basketball player when Chris Middleton comes back. I think I've said this a lot of times. I think a couple of y'all said it, man. I think that once Bobby role gets shrunk a little bit, I know Marcus Johnson mentioned on the broadcast, and shout out to the living legend, White Man Can't Jump, super Mr. Buck dude, just all-out baller Marcus Johnson. But one thing I disagree with you on is Bobby has to be our third or fourth scoring option. He cannot be that. Bobby just has to fit a role for a small amount of time. We may need a hip check here, a tough screen here, a guy to get the crowd hype and going, and then pass the ball to Chris Middleton and let Chris Middleton make 6 or 8 shots in a row because he's capable of that. And once we can get over this problem with his ankles and his head, I think Bobby will be a better player. I think Pat won't touch the floor. Love Pat, but I don't think he'll touch the floor, bro. I think that DeLon Wright's role may switch. Now, one thing we got to remember, though, right? And we're talking about Bobby's turnover with Bogdanovich, and God, I hate that dude. He should be a Buck. I hate him just simply because the NBA was like, no, you can't come to the Bucks because we don't want you here because we don't want Giannis to be greater than what this is. Shout out to David Stern and the rest of them bums in that NBA office. And Kendrick Perkins is ugly, too. Just throwing shots.
Yo.
But Bobby's going to play better. Like, this was a terrible game. This is a terrible game for a lot of guys, man. And do I think Bobby is a third or fourth option? Absolutely not. But do I think Bobby in his role when Middleton comes back, and I've talked about this before in baseball terms, when you put those bullpen guys in the right spot, Bobby's not a setup man. He's not a closer. Bobby's your long inning guy. And that's what we need. Somebody just to kind of bridge the gap from a starter to a closer. And that's what Bobby can do. But look, he got to rebound the ball. You're absolutely right. The amount of offensive rebounds that happened tonight, and a lot of them is when my guy, Mr. Portis, the mayor, reelect him. You got my vote, brother. Was in the game. Cavalier, give that boy a call, man. You need a vice mayor.
Okay, here's where I'm at with Bobby Portis.
Uh-oh.
So all the hype that goes into Bobby Portis, right? The game one, he has a good stretch of minutes, and he starts to go like this with the money signs. He's hyping himself up. The Bucks fans hype him up. I mean, that's goes without saying, but hyping himself up as sixth man of the year. Like, he should be getting this sixth man. And then to be so inconsistent in a role where we need you to be great consistently, it's not going to work for me, dog. Like, it just can't. It's just the sixth man is one of the most underrated position in the NBA, because you're coming in for stretches where guys need breaks and guys are gassed up, and they need to go sit down. And then for you to be bad like that tonight in the first 5 minutes of the game, minus 16, like, that changes games. That's how you lose game. That's how you dig yourself into deep holes. So that's one thing with Bobby Portis. The other thing is, like, he's just such a mental midget. It's unreal. It's unreal to me. The fact that he's so easy to get in his head. Like, he's one of those guys you played with in, like, kindergarten or grade school, where you played with, and they run off the field crying to their mom. Like, just a hothead type guy. Too emotional. Wears his heart on his sleeve too much. So yeah, man, it's I'm about fed up, because I do think he has a super important role on this team, whether that be fourth option, whether that be fifth option, whether that be eighth option or third option. Like, if you're coming in during these important stretches and you're doing goofy stuff, it just can't happen. It can't happen for a contending squad.
And that's the thing about Bobby is, you mentioned it. People can get in his head, and he wears his heart on his sleeve. And I'll tell you, being a guy that you wear your heart on your sleeve and you're very emotional and you show those emotions, it only works when you're playing well. I don't know if people realize that. It's all cool when you're not playing well. It's not as cool. Draymond Green is real cool because he plays with Steph Curry and they win a lot with the Warriors. Do you think that would fly anywhere? Would that fly in most places? It would not. Getting texts every night, you end up with 16. Luka Doncic wears one. The reason it works is because Luka is a superstar. You think you could cry for every foul? LeBron James, you think you could cry for every single foul, every single night that you screaming and cry? It works when you're playing well. It works when the Bobby chants actually means it. Because right now you're living on things that have happened. You're living on Christmas past. Things that have already happened, and that's why you scream about it. You live in this is the thing, Bucks nostalgia. This is what happens when you win one championship every 50 years. That people say, "Oh my God, I have to hang on to this forever." Instead, this is why people say, "Well, Drew." People really have got themselves into the mindset that Drew Holiday he was really better than Dave. No, the hell he wasn't. You you see 2021 and you can't get that out of your head. And no, so it's not a thing. But yeah. That's the thing about Bobby, man. Again, he's living off of what he did in the past. It was great. You probably should have let it go at some point. And again, this is the year where, to me, it's over for that. Now it remains to be seen. Again, I'm not saying he can't play good basketball. It remains to be seen. And maybe you're right, Justin. So maybe I could slow down and say, okay, So wait till Chris Middleton gets back and see what he looks like when the team's fully healthy. Maybe a little less responsibility for Bobby Portis. Maybe gets a little extra space because I think he had a nice open three tonight. He maybe hit one or two, just open three in the court. Maybe there'll be a little more space when Chris Middleton gets back, and you won't ask him to do as much post ups and handle the. Maybe that will happen, and we'll see. But right now, again, it's just a lot of things, effort wise and shooting the ball wise. I'm not liking it. And to be honest, if you talk about 6 man a year, the Bucks' best 6 man so far this year has been Gary Trent Jr. since he went to the bench. He's by far been the best 6 man of the year, if you want to. So again, you know who else got 2 syllables? Gary. So Gary, do that. Come on, man. Y'all gotta stop this Bobby stuff, man. Y'all gotta stop this Bobby stuff.
Let me ask you both y'all a quick question, man. Mm-hmm. Do y'all believe Bobby can hoop better than what he's shown?
Yes.
Oh,
yes,
100%.
Of course he can. Oh, hey, DJ Droop in here. Go ahead. DJ Droop in here, though.
Here. Yeah, Bobby brother here.
Bobby cousin up in here. Instead of, you still ain't looking for the damn that you still ain't been looking for the stuff they stole. You up in here. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Y'all want me to read it?
What was
your question? You said you had a question for it. Oh yeah,
go ahead.
That was. Yeah,
I just asked could Bobby hoop better. That's all I asked.
Oh yes. We know he can.
That was my question.
Okay, let me get DJ Drew says first and foremost, Bobby is an enforcer. We know that. If it wasn't for him, we'd be completely soft. And once again, how are we talking about Bobby, 5th option over Lopez, who is clearly supposed to be our 3rd. Again, but here's the thing: Brook Lopez, I thought he played well defensively tonight. That's the thing about Bobby. When we get on Bobby, that for the other guys, what's the question? I got it from Sam Mitchell. Sam Mitchell had a coach back in the day. Sam Mitchell playing. I can't remember who he's playing for, but he got asked the question by his coach. Okay, so if you're not scoring, do I need to take you out? Because if you're not going, because again, there's nothing wrong with not being able to score. Because you're not going to hit shots. AJ Green didn't score. I thought AJ Green hustled all over the floor tonight. He was not good. He was 2 for 11. We're not debating that. He didn't have a good night. But I never questioned AJ Green's effort tonight. Like I saw him do other little things on the floor. I don't see that from Bobby Portis. And again, being an enforcer, here's the thing. Here, and I'll even push back on that. I'll push back on that, DJ Drew. Being an enforcer doesn't mean that the only thing you can do is fight or get up when an altercation goes down. This the guy. If that's the case, we could get up. What the Pacers do last year? Didn't they go get my man from
Karate Boy?
Yeah, he got the black belt. He went to Wake Forest. James Johnson. Yeah. If I just need an enforcer on the bench to scare some people, we can bring James Johnson in and do that.
He ain't scaring nobody though.
Well, yeah, I know that, but hey, I don't think a lot of people want to mess with James Johnson.
Yeah, probably.
But I'm just saying, like, to me, if you want a real enforcer, I want somebody that's going to defend, that's going to block a shot, that's going to rebound. I want an enforcer like that. That's going to make a play. That's going to fight within the lines. Give me that. I don't need the enforcers after Michigan done playing the flag. I don't need the enforcers for that. I need you on when you're in the court. Did you enforce then? And that's the thing because when you talk about an enforcer, when guys go up and C9 in the paint, ain't nobody scared of him. Now they may not want to fight him because they know he might knock your eye socket out like he did your boy Mir. I ain't saying nobody want to fight him.
He's still hooping in Europe.
Right, but when you see him under the rim and you think you can go, oh, he's food. That's when I need an enforcer for that. And I promise you, people are more scared 1,000%. They're more deathly afraid of Brook Lopez under the rim, protecting the rim. He had blocks tonight, like you said, Chris King. They're more afraid of him under the rim than they are Bobby. Bobby Portis is food. Bobby Portis. I saw Alex Sarr the other night against Washington. He saw Bobby Portis. Oh, it's a bucket. He couldn't score on nobody else. But he saw Bobby Portis. I get one shot in tonight. So that's what I want my enforcing being done.
So yeah, I mean, listen. I want to disagree so bad, right? But I can't disagree, man. Like, and us Milwaukeeans, like, Bobby fits who we are. He's a blue-collar dude that's doing the hard stuff. But what we got to realize, those Bobby chants, we need those after an and one dunk or a layup or a putback rebound where he gets it or he snatches the ball away from someone. I mean, hey, look, DJ Drew, shout out to you, man. Hey, you know I'm a big Bobby guy, but I want to disagree with Trey so bad on this, but I can't. We're giving the Bobby chant for him letting the dude push him out of bounds. That's what he got the Bobby chant for. Dude pushed him out of bounds into the front row. Hey, Bobby, you a much better hooper than this, dog. Grab the damn rebound, put the damn ball in the bucket, box out, and when the dude is coming down the lane, if you're not going to be able to block it, I completely get it and understand it. Take the damn charge. Do what Kevin Love does. He can't block nobody's shot. He can't block my shot right now. And I'm an old-ass man. But he going to take a charge on somebody and make sure he get the ball going back to his team. Like, that's winning basketball. And those plays tonight, you know, being late on it, watching Jalen Johnson run up and down the court like he playing Milwaukee, Homestead High School, that's terrible. That kid went out there and he acted like he was playing one of them sorry Milwaukee high schools like Tech, Bayview, Vincent, or Custer. Yeah, I said what I said. K-House.
Yeah, I think for me is like this whole season, right? Well, we saw it mostly last year too, is Bobby has these games like last night where he's playing well, and then you just like don't really expect him to keep that up anymore. Like it's an up and down roller coaster. It's a literal roller coaster with Bobby Portis. And whether you want that on your team at this point after going out in the first round 2 times in a row with him, I think it is, or three times, 2 times in a row with him, then I don't really know if you need his services anymore.
Right. That's where I am too. And we'll get.
And real quick, I won't say. And this is the thing. The reason why we talk about Bobby so much is because he's the easiest target. He's the one with all these isolation plays where you feel like, oh, maybe we're down 8, we can cut it to 5 here. He's the one with those issues where he's going on these ISO plays, turning the ball over, not hustling for rebounds. Like, he is the easiest target to pick on. So, and I think we expect more out of him than what he's given us. So I think that's the reason. It's nothing against the guy personally. It just is. It's just he's got a target on his back, and he doesn't really seem to prove us wrong, especially after getting ejected in a game in the playoffs where you didn't have Giannis and you didn't have Dame that game, right?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that might have been. Yeah, it might have been Dame.
Yeah, so like, I mean, this is just. It's a kind of a repetitive thing with him.
Yeah, no, he ain't never gonna learn. He never learn.
Real quick, one quick thing, man, and Trey, I'm sure you can relate to this. Chris King, you played ball too. Hey, look, man, my coach for golf in college, if he wasn't on your behind, that meant he didn't mean anything about you. You were worthless.
100%.
The fact that we're on Bobby means we expect more for him and he can play. So DJ Droop, we're not just banging on your boy for the sake of just banging on your boy.
Two times.
We're on him because we feel like he's a better player. So we kind of agree with you, but we just, hey, dog, he got to hoop better. That's it. That's all we saying, Droop. We ain't coming at his head saying he's a terrible basketball player. He don't belong in the NBA or nothing like that. He's a hooper and he got to hoop better. Point blank, period.
Hey, you know who that reminds me of a little bit from last year? What happened on last year, Chris King? We was on Damian Lillard, and it was because we knew you can hoop better and you can play much better than the way you're playing. It wasn't out of you know, I don't do a lot of talk about when Pat Connaughton. I give passing comments to Pat Connaughton. I know he got in the game today, and I think Doc Rivers did it because nobody could score. I think he was like, "Hey, let me see if I can hit somebody hit a 3," and then we down 13 or whatever. But if you've noticed, I kind of given up talking about Pat Connaughton. My question is always, why is Pat in the game? And then it's kind of after that is what, because I already know what it don't do me no good to keep talking about Pat Connaughton because he has no trade value. There's nothing good. So it's whatever. I've given up on talking about Pat Connaughton. I have not given up on Bobby Portis. Talking about, because again, I do think he's a much better player than this, and I have no doubt that if you took Bobby Portis into another situation, maybe there's definitely an opportunity that he thrives in another place. At S4G3 on Twitter says, I'm all for the Gary chant, by the way. And then I think there was another question on Twitter I wanted to get to. Who asked it? Colin Racine. It's a good question because he said, why should we not expect? So Anthony Lacey Button says Giannis can't miss 11 free throws. He's got to make at least 7 of those. So I put that in the calculator. I believe he made 7 more tonight. I can't remember, but that would have put him at around 83% from the free throw line. Yeah, I don't think he's shooting 83%. Colin Racine says, why should we not be expecting GA to be better free throws? I get mid-range, but we need his free throws, especially in the games. He has to be better. Yes, he has to be better than what he was tonight, which was 50-some%. I will agree. I think Giannis, this is for me where I go with Giannis. From a free throw perspective, if you're anywhere between 70 and 75% for the game, I'm fine with that. Like he's not going to, like, it's crazy. I talk more about when Dame misses a free throw in a game, and I know Dame shoots 90%, whatever it is. And when he misses, like, he had a stretch during, especially early season, where he missed one free throw a night. And I'm like, damn, how's Dame Lillard miss free? Because Dame Lillard shoots free throws. Hey, I go get some chips. I go refill the drink. I go. He hitting the free throws. So I think, so it's again, it's about expectations. Giannis has never been a great free throw. I almost take the Giannis getting fouls is a couple things, just like last night, getting Durant in foul trouble, getting Isaiah Stewart in foul trouble, and then running up to get to the bonus. I take that as a positive almost just as much as I do the actual free throws. But again, I will agree, he can't be as bad as he was tonight. But again, if I think 7 is a little zealous or overzealous. I think, if he hit about, how many did he shoot? 26? I think he shot 26 free throws. Yeah, I need you to hit about 18 of those. What's 18 out of 26?
If he shot 26, he probably should have shot about 36 on these boys the way they was hacking down there. But
okay, so 18 out of 26 would be about 70%. So 18, I need you to hit 18 and 19 of those. I'll be fine. Again, I'll agree. It wasn't enough tonight, but 18 and 19, I'd have been cool with it.
Hey, man, listen. Like, Giannis got to make more free throws. I can agree with that. They free. He should get them buckets. But, I mean, the same way that those wide open three-pointers that Gary Trent Jr., A.J. Green missed, those are free throws for those guys, too. Those are good basketball shooters of the ball. And they blew those. So, this was a complete team effort of guys missing free throws, man. Like, dudes, it ain't just Bobby. It ain't just Brooke. It ain't just, like, the entire team got to hoop better. If you look at this 7-game winning streak, the stuff we didn't do tonight is what we were doing. This reverted back to that team that was losing to them. Sorry, shot. What that boy name was? Hernandez, Killer, blah, 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 whatever his name was. That's the type of stuff that made us lose to the Brooklyn Nets that he root for. That bad basketball tonight. Hey, Doc, you got to coach better too, man. It's all around, but, hey, man, you can't, like, free throws are something he can control. Maybe so, maybe not. But the one thing you can't control is that hustle and those rebounds. They out-rebounded us. Them boys got every rebound possible. What did Jason Kidd say? No 50-50s, 100 balls? Yeah. And Atlanta got all the 100 balls.
Yes, and not only that, but it felt like every missed shot for Atlanta, it feels like for us when we miss a shot, it's a rebound. Everybody, it's one shot, get it, and they're going down the other end of the floor. When Atlanta would miss a shot, it was a 50-50 ball because you didn't know who was going to get the rebound. Yep. Hey, maybe we get it, maybe we wouldn't. It seems like that happens far too often. What you got, Chris?
Yeah, I mean, I'll just address the people in the comment. They obviously weren't watching last year when we were on Brooks' head too. I mean, this is the thing with doing a post-game show of 82 games. Like, Brooke has rightfully so deserved some criticism from us that we've given him. Like, this has always been a question we've asked is when Brook Lopez maybe has a 2-rebound game and, he's shooting 10 threes. It's like, all right, what are we down there for? Literally this season, we talked about Brook Lopez or maybe the Bucks in general not going to him more when he had size mismatches. Like, this is what happens. You guys tuned in at the wrong time. This is just what we saw for tonight, not the whole season. I mean, a little bit of the whole season from Bobby, but like we will address when Brook Lopez is bad too. It's not just singling Bobby out, but I think Brook Lopez has been serviceable, and we need a guy like he's really our only big like outside of Bobby and Giannis, like, so we need them all to be good. We need this collective group to be good, and when nothing's going right, we'll let them know.
Absolutely, we'll let them know. And again, so it's a good question about the Bobby Portis. Brook Lopez getting a pass on the rebounding. But again, why do I give Brook a pass? Because that's he's done that his whole career. Now I think there are opportunities. I'll say this about Brook Lopez. Brook almost picks his spots for rebounds, and again, there are opportunities where I think he should grab it, and sometimes he does the volleyball tap out, which I hate when he does that. I think there are times Brook Lopez, the difference between Brook Lopez is I do notice he tries to box out his guy a lot and let somebody else get the rebound. Now it comes to bite him because sometimes somebody else would get a rebound when it was sitting in front of his face. But for the most part, Brook Lopez is boxing out his guy. He's just not actively going for the board. You don't see a lot what happened to Bobby tonight, where Bobby had his guy pinned, going for rebound, and somehow this guy got it. Like, that doesn't typically happen to Brook. Brook just typically is, I'm on my guy. My guy didn't get the rebound. Somebody else should have got it. And again, Brook, the reason I don't have as much smoke for Brook, he's slow as hell. I know Brook, again, the same thing when Giannis shooting free throws. I know Brook is old and slow. He's old and slow, and he saves all his jumping for when he's protecting the rim. That's about the only time he's gonna go is, oh, y'all trying to, what do you call it? The summit. Oh, y'all, we're gonna meet at the top. Oh, okay, bet. I'm getting up for that. He's this is not his game. So I mean, I understand it. I do get on Bobby Portis for the rebounds, but you know, it is what it is. A little bit in that regard for Brook Lopez.
Earlier 3 points a game, 5 rebounds a game this year. So I mean, if we're looking at the law averages, you can't dump on Brook as hard as what you're doing. Hey, DJ Drew, if you're gonna drop all this hate on the boy, you got to make sure you don't got an E on the end of Brook name. Like, we got to keep it a band in this joint now. Like, that ain't cool, big dog. Listen, but stop being so defensive on Bobby. This is Team Bobby right here. I had the Bobby shirt on at the last post game. I ripped my joint off to show my Superman joint when Bobby played his ass off. Again, I want to make sure you're hearing this, because the two brothers on the show done said it. We all expect better of Bobby, Brook, Giannis, Dame, Gary Trent, or whoever. This was an off game for us. Nobody around, including Doc Rivers, Darvin Ham, that entire coaching staff. We were ill prepared tonight. We can call it back to back. We can call it whatever it was. We got our butts handed to us by a younger, more athletic team. And by the way, Jalen Johnson was drafted 20. I don't even know who's in this draft class. I wish that dude was a Buck though.
Yeah, he plays well. And DJ Drew, I don't know who said he was on. I've never said Brook Lopez is all-star. So I find that clip and send it. He's talking about you. You said, okay.
I said that. But in clarity, I said that in a hot streak when Brook was going crazy.
Okay.
And I was like, but what I said was, I didn't say Brook was an all-star. I said if Brook kept hooping like he was when he was doing 25 and 10 and that crazy stuff, he could play like this and be an all-star this year.
And you know the difference between, you know, that and we talked about Brook in the first couple games where he's 1 of 8 from 3, 1 of 7 from 3. Like, we talked about him when that happened. So I mean, this is just you guys caught us on a night where Bobby was terrible, and that's kind of a storyline that we've been following for this whole season. Is like, what are we gonna, if the Bucks need to get better, how are they gonna make a move? If the Bucks, you know, have to move somebody that has some value, it would probably only be Bobby Portis or maybe Brook. Like, these are the only two guys that people would actually be looking at. So yeah, man, I just think it's just bad timing for you guys that tuned in just now.
Yeah, no, that's all it is. You know where it's never bad timing?
Where at?
Curtis Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. It ain't never bad timing over there. Get yourself over Lakeview Boulevard, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And you know what they are doing? You know, tomorrow's Thursday, so you know what they may be doing on Thursday nights?
Got some trivia.
They doing some trivia Wednesday nights, Thursday nights. Bingo and trivia out at Curtis Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And you know what they're giving away if you do well at the trivia, you do well at the bingo?
They got some of them Chris King seats.
God, dude, they got them seats. Section 102, row 23, seats 1 and 2. Curtis Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill. And Friday night, the game's gonna be televised. National televised game against the Boston Celtics. So you know what that means?
Oh, them $3 joints. Let's get drunk.
$3 bottles and pints. Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill, your headquarters for everything Milwaukee Bucks. Get there, have some fun. Tell them the Guru sent you. Tell them that the Cream City crossover sent you over there. Have a good time. And who knows? They may ask you a question like this. They may ask you, who has the most triple doubles in the NBA postseason? I'm asking for the top 1, 2, 3, 4, top 5 in postseason NBA triple doubles. Postseason NBA triple doubles all time. Who are the top 5 in triple doubles? Give them to me.
Bobby Portis. I'm joking.
Hell no.
I'm joking.
Okay. So
LeBron James.
LeBron James is 1. Yes. LeBron James is 1.
Russell Westbrook.
Russell
Yeah.
Westbrook is 2. Yes,
Okay.
he is in there. Good. Very good.
Joker.
Joker is in there at 3.
Ooh.
Excellent job. Bron, Joker, Russ. Who else you got?
Giannis.
No, Giannis does have 3. He has 3, but he is not in the top 5.
Is Big O top 5?
Big O is not top 5.
Damn.
Big O is a little bit below. Big O is 1, 2, 3, 4. He's in the top 10.
Is this getting on our bag? Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan has 4 postseason triple doubles. So I'm gonna give you guys a couple more guesses to get the last 2 guys. You guys got LeBron,
Magic
you
Johnson.
got Joker, you got Russ. Who?
Can we get a decade?
Okay. Magic Johnson is number 1.
Okay,
Magic Johnson number 1 on the list. So you're now looking for number 5. And I'll give you one hint. You guys get one guess. He has a Milwaukee Bucks connection. Who had a lot of triple doubles and has a Milwaukee Bucks connection that you could think about?
Gary Payton?
Hey, no. Chris King, can you give it to me? I'll give you another guess. My guy. One of my guys.
One of your guys.
One of my guys.
So it's not Kareem.
No.
He don't pass the ball, right? You're one of your guys. Okay.
One of my guys. Okay.
From North Carolina?
No, not from North Carolina. I'm just going to have to say Jason Kidd. Kidd is.
Of course. Man, that is your guy.
Yeah. That's a good one. Okay, so that was a good one. Yeah, 4 out of 5, not bad at all. Good stuff. You guys knocked some of that out, so good deal there.
Hey,
go ahead.
Make sure you go to Curly's and you out drink them Celtics fans on Friday though with them $3 joints, man. Let's drink them boys under the table and beat their ass.
Absolutely, got to do that. 100%. For sure. Did want to before we get to the chat, want to get to our next topic before I get to the Twitter chat on back-to-backs and how do you are you giving any blame to the back-to-back as the reason the Milwaukee Bucks lost, or is this one of the things where hey, you got to suck it up and play basketball? It is what it is. How do you feel about that? I think there's also some talk about if the NBA Cup is an actual thing and you want the NBA Cup to be a thing. And of course, the NBA wants the NBA Cup to be a thing. Why are you scheduling back-to-backs after an NBA Cup game? Doesn't make a lot of sense. But just want to get quick thoughts on that. I know we got to move through the program, but I want to get your thoughts on that.
I think Doc called him out. I think it's right, man. And the back-to-back after an NBA Cup game with the emotion that you won in that game is just crazy. I think the thing that we're feeling right now as Milwaukee fans is we're a veteran team. I think the Los Angeles Lakers experienced it tonight too, because they got their behinds handed to them by the Miami Heat. Only one showed up to that game that didn't go out on South Beach was the current, whatever you want to call him, LeBron James. But I just want to say one thing, and I'm going to let you go, Chris King. If you've seen anything tonight, this is the most 100 Bucks post-game show there is. We will get on anyone, whether it's DeLon Wright, whether it's a Wisconsin herd dude, or anybody under the building. Play well, we're going to love you. Play bad, we're going to call you out.
Yeah, I think when it comes to the back-to-backs, this is an issue they had last year where people were trying to find excuses for the Bucks after they would drop, maybe 2 games in a row or whatever it may be because there was a back-to-back. I'm not doing that this year, guys. I'm not doing that. I think this is professional athletes who are paid, and Trey brought this up, but this was one of our better shorts last year, better clips that we made. That you're getting chartered flights, you're getting meals, you're getting all the best treatment in the world, you're getting the best meal, all that stuff, and you're getting in there and you're going to play for a lot of money. There is no excuse as to why you should be having a lackluster effort. A lot of people are spending their own hard-earned money to get into the building and watch the games. So to me, nah, they don't get an excuse. I think it does have a little bit to do with some of these games. Just the way, this is the way it goes over 82 game season. But I'm not going to give them an excuse just because they played back-to-backs. I think the effort needs to ramp up. I think the energy needs to ramp up. And the shot making, sometimes it is what it is. But, just got to see some consistency from everybody else not named Dame or Giannis.
Yeah, I'm with you guys. I'm not an excuse making business. Yeah, great point. We talked about it last year about, like you said, they are. This ain't the end of the world. People had back-to-backs are like, oh my God, I've never played. They used to do it all the time. And then, like you said, they did it when on the damn bus and they bumping around the roads and they had to go play it back to back. So come on, man, get it together and get on the back, huh?
And Chuck Taylors.
And Chuck's right. They ain't had the right shoes, all that kind of. They wouldn't change the shoes at halftime. Giannis got on Grinch shoes. Oh, nah, ain't nobody doing that. So come on, man.
Y'all before they head into work at the at the stadium.
They drove the bus.
Yeah, they drove the bus. They sleeping at the Red Roof Inn. Yeah, no, man. We ain't. Come on, dog. Y'all gotta. Let's pick this up, man. So yeah, I'm with you. I'm not for the excuse making. You got to figure it out. I get Atlanta was there, but and again, my thing is, you can. I do give a little bit of credit when it's at the end of a game, if it's a close game at the end. But yeah, when you get down 20 in the first 5, like you don't get fatigued as soon as you get to step out on the court because you played last night. Like you shouldn't. Like I said, Bobby Portis coming to the game shouldn't be a minus. No, I can't get a rebound. Whoo, I just got on the court, man. I played last. No, that's not how that works. At the end of a game, sure. I give you a little bit for it, but no, not in the beginning of the game. It doesn't work like that. Let's go to so I think we're in agreement there. Let's go to the Twitter. See people are saying at LFC Adam V2 says Osama bin Bobby Portis needs to get off my team. It's crazy. At 8zip70 says Tyler Smith needs to get some run as the backup big behind Giannis. Get Bobby and DeLon off this team now. Doc needs to pull his head out of his ass and make Rollins the backup point guard again until we trade for somebody. So again, a lot of people on the chat, they're like, "Oh, you guys are." A lot of people feel like this. At Plays with Blaze says we played like shit and Greek missed too many free throws. Bobby looked hard out there. Again, I'll tell you, all these comments are gonna be about Bobby Portis. T from Franklin says Bobby has to go, man. He's unplayable. At Porque No Good says GA needs to hit free throws. BP don't know how you live with him or DeLon right now. Ryan Rollins is MIA again. For what reason? Seemed tired, sluggish. Good looks weren't falling. Bobby needs to quit tanking the lineups. Drew Baird just says, we'll be interested to see how well the Bucks do over the next week with games against Boston, Orlando, and Cleveland. At Big 4F5 says depth and talent is thin after the starters and no Chris Middleton. The bench is full of butchers, especially against a quicker athletic team like Atlanta. Schedule loss. Let's move on. At the Wisconsin kid says Bobby Portis needs to go immediately. And the fact Rollins is not playing over DeLon is malpractice by Glenn Rivers. I'll read a couple more here. Just one MK says 7-game win streak was impressive. Saved the season. Hopefully we start another win streak soon. KA Forever 24 says 9 cost us the game. Had the nerve to get a tech when we just had a slither of the momentum. He shouldn't see the floor just like PC. At Chris_Buck says sloppy turnovers in the first half. Played better than the second half after the first few minutes. And guys just missed a lot of wide open looks. Going to happen some games. Let's do one more here. I'll do this one. NYC Randy says, Trey Bobby, I just can't with how much he wastes possessions, gives us nothing defensively. The tech killed me. Man, this was bad shooting today, but all will be forgotten if we can beat Boston on Friday. I'll be at the Nets-Bucks game. Hopefully Giannis plays. Go Bucks. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, one more. The real J Dot says, I want to know that every name of the fans that be chanting Bobby's name at games, they got to be AI generated. So a lot of Bobby stuff on the program tonight, talking about Bobby. Good stuff. Let's do a look around tonight. Well, no, let's do game ball. Who got game ball tonight?
Man, so hey, real quick, guess we ain't getting no underdog sponsorship today.
Nah, I think underdog gonna need to change their colors soon anyway.
Hey, look, you know, normally me, man, Mr. Homer, I'm going to go to a Bucks guy to give him to the game ball tonight. I ain't got nobody. So I'm going to go to the Nicolay High School legend, Jalen Johnson. Played his butt off, went up and down the floor, dunked all over us, rolled all over us, had his daddy in the front row and a whole bunch of people with the Nicolay High School jersey on and stuff like that. So shout out to the young kid from Milwaukee, Wausau, all that stuff. Just an ultimate cheesehead kid going crazy in the arena. I hope he grew up rooting for us. I'm sure he don't root for us anymore, but he went crazy. So Jalen Johnson, you got it from me, big dog. Hell of a game.
Yeah, I think he played well. You know who I really thought was cooking? DeAndre Hunter. My goodness, what was that? I mean, I hadn't seen that for a while. I watched him play at Virginia. I think this was in the Battle for Atlantis. I mean, I wouldn't have expected him to be this good. And if we remember correctly, last year, like this was a guy who's floated around for maybe trade talks to the Bucks. Once we figured out, we don't have that much of a package for DeJounte, and we might be able to swing somebody over there for DeAndre Hunter. Didn't happen, but I mean, my goodness, he was cooking it a lot. I like how he's, kind of stepped up in a bigger role. When he came into the league and we played him in the Eastern Conference Finals, it felt like just a 3-and-D guy, but I mean, he's launching threes from deep with hand in his face. Like, I mean, he's a good player, so I'll give him that.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with you, Justin. I'm gonna go with Jalen Johnson. Now, he played 40 minutes, big time basketball. Like I said, it's pops in the audience. 23, 13, and 5. He was definitely very good. Like I said, all over the court tonight. And again, just really impacted the game in a lot of different ways. So Jalen Johnson gets my game ball as well. Let's do a look around the league. See what we got here. Some finals. Get this out of here. Okay, the Bucks, of course, lose at 119-104 to the Atlanta Hawks. The Celtics, 18-4. They beat the Detroit Pistons 130-120. The Brooklyn Nets beat the Pacers tonight. Pacers dropped to 9-14. The Heat advanced to 10-10, 134-93 over the LA Lakers. The Magic get a win over the 76ers tonight. The Timberwolves are up 76-37 right now over the LA Clippers. So that one seems like it's going to be over. So not a lot of close games really. So I guess except for that Magic 76ers game. Duke Duke beats Auburn tonight. Yeah, Auburn gets their first loss of the season, 84-78. Iowa State beats Marquette. Big 12 Big East battle, 81-70. Battle of some top 10 teams there. Marquette gets their first loss of the season, and I think Kansas went down as well. Correct? To Creighton, number one. Kansas goes down. So again, that's an interesting one. And then you see UNC, who beat the Dayton Flyers. They go down again tonight, 94-79 to Alabama. So some interesting games on the college basketball side of things.
DePaul was unbeaten too. They lost to Texas Tech. So
yeah,
unbeaten's go
well,
down.
Shout out to my guy Mance tuning in from Omaha, Nebraska. Big Creighton Blue Jays fan. I'm sure he's about to go crazy in them bars in Omaha tonight, man. You and all your 12 fans out there in Omaha, Nebraska. Shout out to you, man.
And they got some good fans out there in Nebraska. I can't lie. You see them pack out those volleyball games because they don't got nothing to cheer for in the actual football stadium. They cheer for the volleyball team, which rightfully so. I mean, they're good, but Matt Rule is not doing it, right, Trey?
Trash.
They rush the field for just a bowl win. I think they plant flags for that on their own field.
That's crazy.
Shout out to Nebraska though.
No,
Malcolm X is from there though. Only good thing ever to come from Nebraska.
Yeah, I think in terms of college basketball, like tonight, hell of a slate. I mean, you had like, I don't know, what was it, 10, 15 top 25 teams maybe playing tonight. And then they've got, the Big East SEC Challenge or ACC SEC Challenge and Big East Big 12 is what it is. I like that. I think that's awesome. I think they could have switched it up a little bit. Big East is kind of bad, but and so is the ACC. I think at one point the SEC had an opportunity to make it like 15-1 in those games. Like they were just kicking the ACC's ass. But yeah, man, I think this is good for the sport. I think it's good that there's so much parity going on. Like, I mean, you see it. Alabama goes. Well, yeah, go ahead.
So it's ACC who? SEC?
Yes.
ACC, SEC, and
so let me ask
Big 12, Big East.
ACC, SEC, or ACC Big 10 Challenge? Which one do you feel like was better?
Oh, see, I grew up on ACC Big 10.
Me too.
So
well, I didn't grow up on it, but I'm a lot of
that's what I grew up on. ACC Big 10 Challenge all the time, man. So I'm biased.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough because the Big Ten was always good, and then I think it's still good, but I mean, just with all this realignment and stuff, it kind of makes things feel a little bit different, right? Like, I mean, you've got ACC and SEC, and you see that one year some teams are just way better. Like one conference might just be overwhelmingly better. I think that's something that we might be missing nowadays. But and then you factor in like, okay, if we're doing an ACC Big Ten Challenge, and then you've got Clemson playing Washington, it's like that doesn't even feel the same, right? Like that's a Pac-12 team. So I don't know, but we'll see what happens when they bring that new Pac-12 to.
We got a Big Ten game on right now. Still, it's Oregon versus USC.
Yeah, and USC's winning, right? It's crazy.
Yeah, and speaking of US, shout out to I know you talked a little bit in a group chat the other day about women's basketball, but I saw Juju Wise had like 40 points the other night.
Oh, did
Uh,
she?
so, yeah, so
Let's see
I don't
it.
know who they played, but I did see she put up 40. So big night
Who's
for
number
her.
one in the
The
nation?
problem is they be playing too late.
Yeah, it's USC. Yeah,
No, number one is UCLA, another Big Ten school.
Again, playing too late. People be asleep by then or watching the Cream City crossover.
There you go.
No, I
Hey.
think. Listen, I was just gonna say this. Like, I think college basketball has really done well this year. I think, there's so much parity in it, and it's the same with football. Like, I think a lot of people get up in arms about what's going on with the NIL and how much people are getting paid and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, this has made the product, I think, better in some
I
forms.
agree.
Like now you see with college basketball, they got this players era tournament where the guys are playing for $1 million in NIL, stuff like that. Like that is exactly what college basketball, I think college sports needed is something with a little bit of incentives and play it in Vegas and stuff like that. Like that's cool. I think they're doing the right thing, putting the players first, because they made so much money for these universities for years, and this is just a good way to pay these guys back for now. It's hard to salvage all the damage that was done by not paying some of these guys for a long time, but I think they're headed in the right direction, and it's made the product on the floor, on the field, whatever it may be, really good.
Can I ask y'all another question then? Because
Sure.
today's National Signing Day for college football, right?
Yep.
So what's bigger? Is it National Signing Day or is it Transfer Portal Day now? Because I feel like they're kind of hand in hand to me. I can't say that if you sign the University of Wisconsin or Alabama or whatever, if you're going to be there for 4 years. So I think that transfer day might be a little bit bigger to me. Transfer portal, excuse me.
Yeah, I agree. I think the transfer portal is it's a little bit, well, it depends. Again, I think
guys
it
are
is a little bit
crazy.
bigger. What?
No way. Come on now. You
No, I'm
got
just
guys
saying, no.
flipping their recruitments on one day. Instead, you guys enter in the portal. They might not make a decision that same day.
Well, no, yeah. What I'm
You know?
saying is, well, I guess what I'm saying is, I'm from an overall longevity perspective. Yes, it is. So coming to your school, yes, I would say that the decision day or when your national sign day is a big deal. But when you talk about, like I said, long term, I have no clue because you come in and don't play. So I give you like Carmani McClain. You come in as that's the difference. I think that's what Coach Prime always has been talking about is I want guys that come in and play today. And so if you can't come in and play today, just because you're a prospect, that you prioritize guys that can come in and play day one in your program. Like I feel like he's correct that gone are the days where we develop from freshman to senior. And I mean, some programs like that, yes, you will see some of that. But some programs, if you're not playing as a freshman, now I need to move because I can get money going somewhere else if I'm starting and playing. Like I think you see something again. I think that also may be one of the reasons why you may have more guys. I think you may have guys that want to sit at Alabama and okay, I'll wait. And when I'm a junior, I got guys in front of me. No, I might take it somewhere else and be playing immediately, getting money to play immediately and roll like that. So again, I like it, but I do think transfer portal because you have those same guys who were 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever. Boom, they pop it into the portal and they're gonna be starting elsewhere. And like I said, those guys who played who were 3 stars, who didn't go to the big schools, who proved themselves at different group 5 level. Boom, now you going and you're at you get to the big leagues too. Of the big leagues of college sports. So I think the transfer portal is bigger for coaches and for fans of guys that are going to actually play right now versus National Signing Day.
What's really crazy is when you think about it, right? Me being from Milwaukee, there may be no Dwayne Wade at Marquette. Remember, he sat that first year, mediocre second year, and then took off that third year.
Right.
Look at where you brothers are on 97.3 the game. Brian Butch. Shout out to Brian Butch. The polar bear, he couldn't beat my high school. But them guys like him can't go back to Wisconsin and get a job. And they're there. Why? Because they're vested there for 3 to 4 years. Mark Tauscher on the Badgers broadcast. You don't have that if you I'm gonna bring it back to Wisconsin again. AJ Store, transfer school.
Oh, yeah.
Where is his roots laid at?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's cool that a lot of people get upset that these smaller schools are not able to compete with the NIL or the money that these bigger schools have. But when you look at it from a bird's eye view, the mid majors or the smaller schools are just doing what the Power 5 schools are doing. It's just with the guys who are sitting the bench at the Power 5. They go down there and they transfer from Power 5 and go down to mid major and go ball out because they have the opportunity now at some place. So I think it makes it really fun. Like when you see a guy go from Pitt to maybe a school like Rhode Island in basketball, and he's able to actually hoop and go off and prove himself. Like that makes it fun. That makes it honestly, like we talked about with the parity, it makes the games more competitive when some of these teams go play these big dogs.
It's the new JUCO. Like, I mean, imagine Cam Newton, instead of going to Blinn after Florida, went to where he could have went.
Huh? Could have went to Holy Cross or Howard. Okay, that worked.
Yeah, Howard. I know his brother went there, but I'm just saying, like, imagine you have those guys, that were doing that kind of stuff. That would have been. It would have been wild. Makes for a different day, different time as well. Real quick before we finish, I did want to ask you guys, since we started talking about college sports, did you have an issue with the college football? Did you have an issue with the CFP, the committee? It looks like Alabama is going to sneak their way into the college football playoffs. At least they have the inside track, jumping past Miami. Do you have any issues with that? Any problem you saw with the with the group that they came out with, or the pairs they came out with for the top 12?
Hey, to be honest with you, man, I didn't even look at it, man. I mean, my Badgers so bad. I'm just like, man, is college football still going on? Nah, but seriously, man, like, it's tough. And you can't really say namesake because Alabama has that namesake, Miami has that namesake, and we're all talking about past stuff, right? We're not talking about in the present right now. But if you take Alabama out to replace them with Miami, I wouldn't be upset. If you flipped it around the other way, I wouldn't be upset. My biggest thing is I feel like Ohio State and all these boys want to fire Ryan Day and shout out to my guy Chris King, Ohio representative. But losing to Michigan may have pathed your way to a national championship a lot easier than what it would have been.
Okay. To me, I have a problem with Alabama being in the top 12. And here's why. Because now you make SMU, a team that's 11-1, go play in the ACC championship game. And if they lose, I just saw their coach Rhett Lashley, I think his name is, talking about this. He's like, listen, if our guys get COVID, if all of our guys got COVID this week and we decided to opt out, we'd be in the playoff right now. But now the fact that I got to go play Dabo Swinney and Clemson, and if I lose that game, we might be out. That way Alabama can get in. But when you look at it, like, it's Alabama has 3 losses. Like, there should be no justification of why Alabama should even be in over SMU in the first place, even if SMU loses. But the fact that this is even happening is outrageous because you lost to a Vanderbilt team that was they were okay. You lost to a bad Oklahoma team. I get it; it's on the road, but at the same time, you got blown out. You put up 3 points with this so-called best freshman wide receiver in the country, or best receiver, whatever they're saying, with Jalen Milroe, who's supposed to be a Heisman candidate. Like, come on now. You guys didn't show it. They don't just because they're in the SEC and just because they're playing teams that have good history, and Vanderbilt doesn't have good history, but like, just because you're having these matchups that are maybe better than the ACC was given SMU, or SMU lost to BYU, who also started to fall off at the end of the year. Like, it doesn't matter to me. That 3 losses to 2 or 3 losses to 1, it shouldn't happen. SMU should get that spot.
Chris King, can you close it out with that Bobby Portis thing he did in Philly?
Oh, with the money signs.
There you go.
The money
there
signs.
You go. That's why they're there.
Yeah. No, you're right. Literally.
No, I agree. And then and to last point on that, I agree. I think it's a money thing. And they're trying to find the best team. So, and I get legitimately, that's the thing. I don't know. I think on any given night, any given Saturday, you can see whatever happens. I have no clue who's going to win from that. So it's not one of those things where it's like, oh, well, we're putting Bama in because they're clearly the better team. I don't know. They go out and wipe the doors off SMU. I couldn't say that at all. It just depends on where you go. I thought it was interesting though that you talked about that Ohio State. They're playing Oregon right in the Big Ten title game.
It's Penn State, Oregon.
Sorry. You're right. It's Penn State, Oregon. Do you think it's interesting? You're right. Penn State, Oregon. I saw tickets for that game, and people were kind of talking about that as far as, and I think Jeff talked about it this Saturday, talking about what games matter, what games don't. That game doesn't really have a lot of significance. I think you can get into the Big Ten championship game for like $12. You can get into the stadium for $12 because the game there's no significance for it.
And it's in Indianapolis, so that's
Oregon
the old...
is deep from Indianapolis.
Yeah.
So.
And that's the old Big Ten, though, where Indianapolis pays off, where you can get a centralized location. Now with Oregon coming from as far as they are, and Penn State is one of the further eastern schools to come to Indy, it's like, why? We got to move our Big Ten championship game to like Dallas, to Jerry's World or something like that, or maybe Detroit. I don't know. It can't be in Indy, though, because Indy isn't it for Oregon. You got to get, if we're going to have teams all across the country, we got to get in the middle of the country.
I would go to Detroit if I knew the way. But
their arena hosts a Horizon League championship because they don't have an NBA team there unless Isaiah Stewart's hacking somebody. Oh, sorry, that was last night, not tonight.
I'm with you on that. So interesting stuff. Go ahead.
Can I ask y'all one last question before we go? And I may have missed it. I was on load management. Shout out to JT, man. We got to have some type of relationship advice, man. Like, especially because Chris King, like Nick Cannon says, how fly is he? my boy Chris King.
I'm still looking at the demographic, bro.
He put the jacket on to show you how cold Jerry Bird was tonight.
Oh, man.
But can we talk a little bit about this Gilbert Arenas taking shots at Chris Middleton and Young Money, Young Buck, Brandon Jennings holding down our Bucks franchise and telling him, you comparing this boy to Dalton Knecht and whoever the hell else you want to compare it to on them Lakers.
I didn't hear what did he say? He compared Chris Middleton to Dalton Knecht.
So he was basically like, oh, well, Middleton coming back, because Jennings was like, when Middleton comes back, that's going to change the whole chemistry of the Bucks, et cetera, et cetera. And then Gilbert got on there and he was like, oh, well, we got Dalton Knecht out, we got this guy out for the Lakers and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, no. Listen, Chris Middleton pisses better than Gilbert Arenas, Arenas, some of them Enos boys. He's better than him on every platform possible. Not to mention the 40 bucket in the NBA Finals, man. But I'll digress, man. I just want to hear what y'all boys think about Gilbert comparing Middleton to these role players for the Lakers. But more importantly, Gilbert, where do you stand in comparison to Chris Middleton?
Yeah, I think it's funny. I did see a little bit of that. People talking about it, and I think that and here's the thing on Gilbert was a bucket. Gilbert was cold.
He was.
So I think what people would say is, okay, but Gilbert was. Here's your thing though. They were trying to masquerade Gilbert as like a number one, as like, and there were a couple years where Gilbert was legitimately like a guy, superstar. And I think that's your question. If you want to compare Chris and Gilbert, would a team ever say, Chris Middleton, you're the face of I'll let Chris Middleton be the face of my franchise. You're a number one option. You are the guy. I want you to run this entire organization. Everything goes through you. That is a legitimate question. If you're Gilbert Arenas, you could say when you were making that comparison that yes, Chris, because Gilbert Arenas say, oh yeah, if I was third fiddle to Giannis and all right, second, third fiddle, Giannis and Drew Holiday or that, I can play on the championship team as a number 3 or number 2. But Gilbert Arenas, he's holding his hat on. No, I was the guy. Like it kind of like not in the same way, but and so I'm taking some liberties here. But kind of like if you were to say like James Harden, I know James Harden changed the entire game, so I hate that I'm using James Harden, but I'm just saying a guy who James Harden ran a franchise, never won a chip, but ran a franchise. But would you take Chris Middleton's resume because Chris Middleton was the number 2 and won a chip with Giannis? Like You see what I'm saying? Like, or maybe a better comparison would be Paul George, who ran a franchise in Indiana and never got to where he went. Would you even let Chris Middleton get to that point? I don't know that any franchise. I don't know if there's a franchise out there that would say, "I've seen enough Chris Middleton. I want him to be my number one." Probably, probably close to probably like a Fred VanVleet, who, I don't know that I really want you as a number one running things. But you could be a decent team doing it, maybe. But I don't know. So I think that's the question. But it's a good kind of question debate if you compare those two. But there was a limited time where Gilbert Arenas was a bucket.
Yeah, that he might have been. He gave me an autograph when I was at a
Okay.
Pacers Magic game. So he was I mean, that was at the time where he probably already got busted for whatever he did with the locker room stuff and all that stuff. So he was probably, on his way out anyway when he played for the Magic. But as a podcast host, as a kind of a clip farming type guy,
Yeah.
I have decided to just tune out anything he says. And that's not to say that he doesn't have some insightful takes. It's just, to me, after you say so much and you rag on the Bucks so much and you rag on Giannis so much, I just don't want to watch it. I just don't want to listen anymore. So I don't know. He could say what he wants about Chris Middleton. He can say what he wants about the Bucks. We know just as much as he does that sometimes you got to find stuff to talk about, and it feels like that's what he does every day.
Man, Chris King for MVP, man. Look, listen, man. Hey, Gilbert was a walking bucket. Like Trey, you said it well. His biggest claim to fame, though, is dropping 60 on Kobe. That's what his claim to fame. And then what Kobe could turn around and do to that boy after that? He made him his son. Like, hey, Gilbert, hey, you a great player. You can probably get 60 on me right now. You can get 100 on me right now. All I know, Young Money, Young Buck, Brandon Jennings, hold it down for the culture, man. Bucks in 6, tough crowd. That's what we talk about. Go to hell, Gilbert.
I'll just leave it with Gilbert Arenas 04, 05, 06 points, average 25.5, 04, 29.3, 05, 28.4, 06. Yeah, he was averaging 30 a night for a couple years, for a full season, and played in those 2 years, played 80 and 74 games. So Gilbert playing, man, oh my God, I'm just looking at his minutes. In 05, he averaged 42 minutes a night.
Who you play for?
40, the Wizards. He played for the Wizards.
Hey, Chris Middleton, the best G Leaguer ever to play in the NBA.
Could be true. That could be true. It could be true.
Should I drop my Twitter so they can get at me and fight me?
That could be true. I had to go through the G Leaguers to figure that out. It could definitely be true. Good stuff tonight, fellas. Anything you guys? And I know we went real long on a back to back. You guys, like I said, we didn't low manage at all tonight. 119-104 Hawks beat the Bucks. Any final words on or any final thoughts before the Bucks have to go into Boston on a tough? It's gonna be a tough night. I think going to be a lot of people tuned in to seeing the Bucks play Boston. To see, again, I think it would have been wow. The Lakers ended up losing by 41. I didn't realize that. But I think it's gonna be one of those things. I think it would have been. I don't think it's lost any luster. I think it would have been real nice to see the Bucks go into Boston on an 8-game win streak. But how do you guys feel? But I guess I don't want to go into that. But I just want to give me your thoughts there. Bucks have Boston Friday night and lost 119-104 to the Hawks tonight.
I feel like we got to come out and play good basketball on Friday, man. Like, let's start another win streak. We ain't gonna get no predictions, but we gonna beat them boys.
Okay,
we gonna beat them. Hey, look, man. If we can get around like Andre Jackson Jr., you had a great pregame for the main event, right? You had the junior varsity game tonight. You went between a mediocre flopper dude tonight and Trae Young. So when you get to Boston, you know what it is. Stay away from those foul baiters. We know what they're going to do. AJ Green shoot the ball well. Gary Trent Jr. shoot the ball well. This ain't the same Bucks team that they snuck by before when we were kind of figuring it out. Hey, man, I'm gonna go ahead. I said no predictions. I'm going to go ahead. You're going to beat them boys by about plus 8.5. You got it.
All right.
Yeah, I guess my final thoughts just wrapping up tonight is just, this is what happens over the course of an 82-game season. Sometimes you shoot the ball well, sometimes you don't. I'm not going to say this is very worrisome because you just saw it work 7 times in a row, 7 games in a row. So the inconsistency, I'll chalk this one up to it just being, all right, it was our time to take one. It was our time to take a loss. And we've had some inconsistencies, but we were able to overcome those and get that 7-game win streak, get back over 500. Even with this loss, we're still over 500 and on the climb. So I think this is just maybe a learning experience for some of the new guys to hopefully, bring more, try to find it within themselves to bring a better effort if the guy next to him is not doing it. And then against Boston, what are we against Boston this year, 0-2?
0-2.
Yeah, we got to even that up. We got to even that up for sure. We got to get a win. We got to get on the board. And I think this Bucks team now is playing at a level that Boston had not seen in the first 2 Bucks games. And it was still close for that. What was it, second one? Or which one was close? There was one of them close, one of them not really, right? I can't remember. Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, they haven't really seen what we've seen in these last couple of games. I mean, I'm sure they see it on film, but we've seen the Bucks play pretty well and have some decent showings and some dominant showings at that. So yeah, I think the Bucks will be ready for this new challenge, and I don't know if the Celtics will be ready for the new look Bucks.
Yeah, I'm with you guys, man. The Bucks have got to they got to get it back on track, and you got to come in to the game. You got to be firing all cylinders as soon as the game starts. I do think the level of attention and detail, the focus will be there from the beginning on Friday evening. And, it's one of those games where this will be, I do think, I know we talked about it before, and JT said it wasn't, there wasn't a barometer. I do think this is a measuring stick kind of game for the Milwaukee Bucks. You want to go out there and you want to show something to the Boston Celtics. Like I said, you want to be competitive, you want to play well, but you got to be locked in because you got to show them something that, we are a top team in the East, and we're going to be here at the end of the thing. And that's what I want to see from the Milwaukee Bucks. You talk about a prediction, I'll give you a prediction. And I haven't heard this from anywhere, no sourcing, nothing, just an intuition. I'm just guessing. My prediction, Chris Middleton comes to give you 20 minutes of Friday night against the Boston Celtics. That's my prediction. Chris Middleton says, hey, I'm coming in. I'm coming in. We're shipping into Boston. And that's what I want to see from Chris Middleton. Come on and play some basketball, man. It's your time to come play, help these boys out and get a dub. That's all we got, man. Good stuff tonight from everybody. Man, for the people still in this chat, wow, this went a 9. This might be, I always kind of wonder. So when we're doing the show, I'm always looking at the time and I go, how can we get to what's the longest show that we're going to do? And I'm always trying to say sometimes, like, so usually
2 last year. We might have got to 2.
We got a 2 last. I just always looking, I'm always like, where we're going to be at. I think usually we probably average somewhere between 70 and 80 minutes somewhere in there. And the crazy thing is we do more, I feel like, because we have 4 people, you got to get more takes off, what have you. So I notice when it's just me and somebody, when it's me and there's 3 or whatever, it's 3, usually a little bit shorter. When it's 2, they're shorter. When there's 4, they're long. So it's interesting. We go 3. We don't have JT with us tonight, and we still went 90+ minutes.
That's because you don't see him yawning in the side eye. That's why you're peripheral. You don't see him yawning.
So I don't rap. That's my cue to rap. It's when I see JT.
Exactly. We going up Friday, though. Shut down Peyton Pritchard, too.
Yes. Hey, no. That is a great point.
Yeah,
that is a great point. Peyton Pritchard. Man, you gotta make me. We gotta go another 10 minutes. I'm gonna stop myself. I'm gonna stop myself. But I do have to say this about Peyton Pritchard. He cannot be an afterthought. He's not an after. Like, I think you think of Peyton Pritchard as it's Peyton Pritchard. He come and hit a couple threes. It's like, damn, he hit a couple threes. Okay, so I'm like, I feel like people thought about Peyton Pritchard like he was a Pat Connaughton. Like, oh, okay, man, he done came and hit. Yeah, like AJ Green, he gonna hit a few threes and no. It ain't. It's not an if. He hit. If you, I mean, you have to. He has to be on the scouting report. Like, you can tell sometimes, like, they think you can tell teams go after AJ Green, like, try to seek him out defensively. It's like, oh, okay, AJ Green, let's go at him. And it's like, oh, he plays a little better defense than we thought he was gonna play. No, Peyton Pritchard has to be on, like. And that's got to be tough as a coach because Jaylen Brown's on the scouting report. Jason Tatum's on the scouting report. You got to worry about Drew Holiday playing defense on the scouting report. You try to get away with some of the things Drew Holiday. Derek White coming in there doing his thing. I don't know if Kristaps Porzingis is playing. I know he went out. But you know about what these guys bring and some of the firepower they have. And then it's like you try to get away with, like, Peyton. Okay, here come the bench guys, but nah, Peyton Pritchard coming in. Balling. And I mean, so that's what I mean when I say you got to be locked. That's what I mean when I'm talking about these guys, our second group from like, and so because you kind of think, okay, we're still in the playoff. You have to be prepared for Peyton Pritchard coming off the bench, and he can give you 30. Like,
Free
I mean, like
Ryan Rollins.
Right. That's what I'm saying. So you got to be all here. Like you have to pay special. That's all I'm gonna say about Peyton Pritchard. You can't treat him like he's just anybody coming off the bench. Hey, we'll just defend him with who. Oh, we got DeLon right out there. Hey, okay, who the matchup? There we go. Point guard on point guard. Let's take him. No. You need to pay attention to Peyton Pritchard. I don't want to get beat by Peyton Pritchard. I'd rather get beat by. I'd rather Jason Tatum go for 50 than Peyton Pritchard hitting. If I see a damn half court buzzer beater Friday, I will be pissed. I don't want to see it. Nick D his ass up as soon as he step on the floor. I have 94 feet. D in his ass.
Go off, Guru.
Hey yo,
clip that.
Let's go.
I will say this though, and this is exactly what I was just talking about. Like, this is a new look Bucks. Pat Connaughton was a part of that. He was a part of those assignments. They did some white on white crime. What we call it, white on white crime.
Hey.
And so, to me, I think we get somebody else in there that we've been playing these past couple games that Pat has not been. Hey, we may just be equipped to stop the other white guy. So.
Hey, let Ryan Rollins go crazy. He got that long arms range. Let him go. Let him deflect them passes. Let him do everything. Hey, DeLon, we appreciate what you did while Rollins was hurt. Rollins got to go crazy now. Hey, look, what they say back in the 90s, Guru? And another one. Keep going.
Yes, sir. Good stuff. Okay, now we're done. Good stuff, everybody. Man, if you I appreciate everybody who's watching, tuned in, still watching us, viewing this. I appreciate everybody who's going to watch this on the backside as well tomorrow and into Friday before the Bucks played the Boston Celtics, and whenever you watch it. Appreciate whatever meeting you watched, whether it was Twitter, whether it was the YouTube. I want to encourage you to like, subscribe, follow all those good things to the Cream City Crossover, the YouTube page, the Twitter page, all that stuff. We greatly appreciate the likes, so get those things up. Want to make sure that you just tell a friend and tell a friend and tell another friend about the Cream City Crossover. We're here for you. Best damn post-game Bucks show, period. I want to thank our sponsors tonight, Cream City. Want to thank our sponsors tonight, Curly's Waterfront Sports Bar and Grill out in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Thank you to them as always for supporting us. Proud sponsor of the Cream City Crossover. Good stuff, man, on the back-to-back. Appreciate everybody for being with us. Appreciate you guys for rocking with us on a back-to-back, man. You know, it is what it is. You go out there and you know, hey, the Bucks may not have been prepared to win on the back-to-back, but we're prepared tonight to come do what we need to do on a back-to-back. So good stuff. Chris King got to get out. How cold is it out in Dayton? You look, boy, you looking. Look, is it? I know it's a shoot, but like it's a little cold out there. It's up there.
I would say probably.
Is it snowing?
Yeah, it is right now. It's like probably 30 degrees, 35, okay. 34.
Okay, let's make sure ain't no blizzard up there when I get up there for that.
I could check
for that Dayton Marquette game. See what that weather looking like, man. I can handle a little
31.
Cold.
It's 31 right now.
Okay.
Next Saturday we should be good.
Light snow or
no snow? No, it's snow right now, but
okay.
Next Saturday we should be good. I think it should be high of like 40 something. So.
Oh yeah, we in there 40s. We in there with the 40s. All right,
40's
good deal.
Okay.
Good deal.
40's okay.
Love it. Okay, we can handle the 40s.
I might not make it.
we gonna make it. Good deal, man. Appreciate it. As always. Let's do this thing on Friday night, fellas. We'll be here with you at the Cream City Crossover, Bucks and Boston Celtics. This has been a Cream City Media Group production from the Group Alert.
Justin.
Chris King.
If I am the enemy, it's only because I dare to tell you the truth. Don't take no wooden nickels.